Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Amateur Statistics Scholars, or welcome if it's your first time. I'm Nolan again. It's just me again tonight. No Luke, no Sam again. We'll get back to that though here shortly. But it's 10:46, January 5th, 2023. Um, this video is specifically focused on one thing, unlike our most of our videos. But today, the University of Texas fired Chris Beard. Uh, Obviously, Beard was arrested and had the allegations of domestic abuse on his fiance. It's just a really messy situation entirely. I'm not like I'm not a no one here's a lawyer. No, but nobody's a lawyer. But I think Chris Beard was done from the moment everyone saw this, especially whenever they suspended him without pay. Everyone just knew he was done. And it's wild, really, because I mean, he has Texas like they're really good this year. He's recruiting well for them. I mean, it's really crazy because it seemed like finally Texas was getting back to where they had been or where they had wanted to be in the Rick Barnes years, especially in the early years of Rick Barnes, because this year they're legitimate contenders. At least they were. They got embarrassed by Kansas State a couple nights ago, but it looked like everything was great, and Chris Beard obviously was one of the top coaches in probably in college basketball right now, and definitely one of the I guess biggest hot shots there for a while. Obviously, when he was at Texas Tech, people forget he's a play away from being a national champion coach. I mean, he's literally a play away from having a national title at Texas Tech. Texas Tech. He turned around Texas Tech. He made Texas Tech a good basketball program. They were in the dumps before him. I mean, they were horrible. Tubby Smith was their coach, and I mean, that was an absolute disaster, obviously. But I don't know if I can stress enough how big of a loss this is for Texas. This is big. I don't know who they replace him with. I really don't. I don't know how you replace Chris Beard, especially with what they were doing, the recruiting. It's just I don't know what they can do right now. And I mean, yeah, Texas has money; they can hire anybody they want. But I don't know. I know the whole thing, obviously, with Texas in the past in both sports has been who wants that job. There's so much pressure at Texas. The boosters are insane. Their fan base uh, is. I mean, I'm not even. I don't want to say insane. They care more than others about both, really. Even though I mean they are football centric, they're pretty basketball centric here too, especially lately because of the success that Beard was starting to have. They got the new arena. They got all this stuff going for them, and then this happens. I mean, it's just so deflating for Texas. I mean, first of all, Chris Beard, what an idiot! What an absolute idiot! 7 years, like $360 million. He threw it away, and he's not going to get a buyout because obviously they fired him with cause. You can't. Well, they're not going to fire you for cause for domestic abuse, for having a domestic abuse charge. That's not even his only charge since he's been there. He got a DUI. Not that that matters. I mean, yeah, I definitely don't drink and drive, but I mean, Mark Few has a DUI and he's still the coach at obviously at Gonzaga and pretty much got away. He got like a 1 game suspension. That's about it. But this is bigger than a DUI. I mean, I don't want it to sound like anything, like anyone say anything less than that. If Chris Beard did the stuff that has been alleged against him, Chris Beard's a psycho. I'm sorry, Chris Beard is a psycho. He bit her. He bit her. He bit the lady. He choked her. I mean, like, come on, man. I mean, that's awful, dude. That's just so awful. And again, he threw it away. He threw it all away. He threw it all away for Texas. He threw it all away for himself. But I just wonder where Texas goes from here. Now, now that everyone's had the time to recollect themselves and think a little more about it. I mean, he's been fired now for about 8 hours, almost, or yeah, 7 hours. I wonder what they do. I mean, I haven't looked at any hot names for the coaching job. I haven't looked for any of the top candidates. I would assume Scott Drew is on it. Wouldn't we all assume Scott Drew's on that? At least it seemed logical. I mean, if I was Texas, I mean, he'd be on it. He won a national title at Baylor, national champion coach. He's in your state. Chris Beard was in your state. Yeah, he's a UT alum, but and Scott Drew isn't. But you got a really good coach there right in front of you. I mean, what would it hurt? And then obviously there. I mean, I'm sure there are other people. People have thought John Beeline was going to be the coach. I doubt that now. He's pretty old, but but that could also just make some crazy hire that no one expected. I mean, that happens all the time, especially here lately. But it's crazy. This is crazy. It's not the way I thought that this was going to play out. I did not think that this was going to end in the firing of Chris Beard and potentially the end of his career, and especially the destruction of something that was once that he had that was looking like it was going to be great at Texas. Um, Here, I'm just trying to pull up some stuff here. Um, Here's the full statement from the Texas Athletic Director, Chris Del Conte. The University of Texas has parted ways with Chris Beard. This has been a difficult situation that we've been diligently working through. Today I informed Mr. Beard of our decision to terminate him effective immediately. Uh, the university's vice president, vice president of legal affairs, Jim Davis, apparently wrote in a letter to Chris Beard and his attorney that Beard engaged in, quote, unacceptable behavior that makes him unfit to serve as head coach at our university. You can say that again, but obviously there was the stuff where his fiance kind of did backtrack there for a little bit, and I know a lot of crazy people keep pointing to that. That seems to be proof that he didn't do anything, even though they've clearly not heard a lot of stories from a lot of different women. Here's the quote from her when that happened. Randy True, his fiance, she said, quote, Chris did not strangle me, and I told that to law enforcement that evening. She then go on to say, Chris has stated that he was acting in self-defense, and I do not refute that. I do not believe Chris was trying to intentionally harm me in any way. Okay, why don't you call the police then, is all I got to say about that. You want my personal opinion on that. And then the Travis County District Attorney released to ESPN's Myron Metcalf. The matter is still quote, the matter is still under review, and our prosecutors are evaluating all of the evidence, including recent statements and all evidence collected by law enforcement. Our office takes all allegations of domestic violence seriously. In each case, we are committed to working through the unique challenges presented. I'm just going to stop there. It's just, I mean, just a really, really messy situation that probably, I don't know if he obviously had the worst outcome imaginable, especially for Chris Beard. I don't know if that's the case for Texas yet. They're going to have to, they need to make a splash higher, though. I mean, and I wouldn't imagine it'd be that hard for him. It's not like Chris Beard left him and put him on probation or anything like that. He didn't. It's not an NCAA allegations, NCAA violation, whatever. I mean, this is just trouble with law enforcement, which is insane to me. I mean, you never see a coach do that. I mean, that's crazy. But here we are. Um, I don't guess there's really much to say about that. Chris Beard, obviously. I mean, we'll see if he recovers from this. If he ends up in a mid-major or what. I mean, plenty of coaches have done pretty awful things. Still, Bobby Petrino in football. Bobby Petrino is an awful human being, by the way. Also just betrayed UNLV in like 2 weeks. That's pretty nice to see that some things just don't change. I mean, you never know. I guess with that, I'm just gonna leave it alone. It's been, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see. By the way, also I'm seeing here, John Calipari being mentioned. Seth Davis mentioning John Calipari as a potential candidate. Obviously, coach of Kentucky. That would be bananas, but I don't know how that would go because John Calipari's not winning right now at Kentucky. They've been down here the last few years with him. He's not really, and again, as a fan, his style is very outdated, and I don't know if that's something Texas would be interested. They definitely got the pockets for it though. But $55 million buyout at Kentucky and a lifetime contract where he's making just an absolute buttload of money. I just can't imagine that he would go to Texas. I just don't really see that happening. Scott Drew is probably number one in my mind right now as to who I think would get that job, or who I think they'd go for that. But we'll leave it at that. If anyone ever does see this video, like and subscribe. It'd be pretty cool. If you want to share it around, go ahead. I'm not gonna make you do whatever you want. Start pumping out more content now. We're gonna get this thing going. That's all I gotta say, really. This has been Amateur Statistic. Oh, why did we name it? Why did we name it like that? That was. It's a tongue twister. This has been Amateur Statistics Scholars. Have a nice ass day. We'll see you around.